I hope you're all well. I'll bet you were wondering what you're doing in my kitchen. Well, we never liked the way the lights were set up in the ceiling here. I've added this light, which centers on this cabinet, and I've added this light, which centers on this cabinet. And then what we had was very bright counters and floors that were very dark. So then I went and got some additional recessed lights that aren't quite as bright as what's over the cabinet, and I put that one in, that one in, that one in, and that one in. Now you're saying, well, wait a minute, you've already put lights in. That's not the video, right? Well, actually, I haven't put the canned lights in over on that side, and that's what we're gonna do. So I've done a little investigation, and this light is the start of the run. This light is the source of the power for the rest of the lights in the kitchen. So what I want to do is now eliminate this light. Unfortunately, that means I'm going to have a cover in the ceiling. You can't conceal a cabinet, a box. But I've got a white cover here that I'll put over the hole, and you won't see it when the rest of the lights are in. The only other choice would be to follow that wire all the way back down to the switch, and I don't want to do that. So I've laid out a set of strings here where I wanted the lights to go, ideally. Well, it turns out that the only lights that are going to go where I want them to go ideally is this string right here. Every other spot in the kitchen, the string laid over the top of a rafter, so I had to move it one way or another. I moved them all one way so that they're still in a line, they're just not centered on the floor. So what has to happen here is I want to take this light out because it's not on the cabinet. I'm going to take this light and I'm going to put it here. And of course the rafter is right there. That's why there's two holes there. I had to get as close as I could, and obviously I'll patch the ceiling. So this light comes down. I have to drill a hole right here so I can get my hand up inside there, the back of the box, and get a feed out of that to come over to here, and to run a feed over to here to this light. And then this branch will feed the remaining 4 lights that we have to do. That way I'm not just piling on top of the whole string. And these lights, the recessed lights, come with clips, and they say don't put any more than 4 in a row. So I'm doing exactly that, no more than 4 in a row. So next thing is to drill a hole, take this light out, turn the power off. What I want to do is get the wire over here so that I know that we can do it. Then I can cover that up, turn the power back on. I got lights, and then I'll start from the dead end of the string and work my way back to here. And when I get back to here, I'll turn the power off again and make the one last connection, and that'll get us going. So here we go. The object is to do as little damage as possible to the ceiling while we're doing this. And I've got to get from here to here to here. This light's going away. There's a rafter right there, and there's another rafter right here. So if I drill a hole here, I can get my hand up here, this hole, and get it to the back side of this box to feed the wire through. I can then drill a hole through the rafter this way. If I drill a hole here, I can drill a hole through this rafter and get to this light, and this is open to this light. So we need to drill 2 holes. Except the battery is dead. Oh. It's a double. I can still get my hand up there. Yep, perfect. Would you believe I hit a nail? I believe I hit a nail. Now, can I get my hand up in this? Yes, I can. Oh, we have the power off. And we gotta take this light down. And we're gonna move it. So we gotta save all these brackets. What we have here is power coming in, power going out to the rest of the lights. We're going to add 2 wires to here. So I don't find any problems. I don't see any clearance problems. We can get the wires in there. Let's do it. We want to put this light right there, right on the center of that cabinet. And we drilled this hole so we could get the wire through. We've got the wire through. Now let's patch this hole temporarily, and then we'll come back and putty it. Now let's put this half moon in. Now I can putty over that. So now what we're going to do is put what's called an old work fixture in here. All right, now we're ready to install our old work box, and by old work it means we're putting a box into an existing ceiling. We feed the wire through and get the white part of the wire inside. Put this up inside and squeeze these metal wings together. And then push on the screws. And it's now locked in, and now we'll tighten it down. There we go. Not coming down. So let's put the light on it. And now we have a live wire right there, and we can run the remaining 4 cans off of that, and we have this light now centered over this cabinet. All I gotta do is patch up those 3 holes, which is not terrible bad, and we'll have to live with that. Once again, let me explain what these strings were. These strings were the ideal location of lights. Unfortunately, because of rafters and other considerations, we couldn't put the lights where we wanted to. So we evened out the adjustments. This adjustment I'm making so that this is in line with that center piece, because we'll do something with that, and in line with that far light down there. So here we go, last hole. Okay. Actually, it's not the, ooh, look what's above there. You sucker.
What's above there, a pipe?
Yep.
For the bathroom?
For something. Oh, and it's a drain too. Well, that's interesting. You know what I have right here? Is this a new one? This is our tub.
The kitchen tub? Oh, the kitchen tub.
This is the tub. Wow. So on the last hole, this is Renovation Realities. Not only do I have a drain pipe, but I have a hot and cold line right over where I want to put the light. So unfortunately, this light is not going to line up with the lights over there. So where we're at here is, this is the tail end branch, which I have already put in. And I've run the wire across the rafters to this hole. So the remaining lights are that light, that light, that light. That light down there has the hot lead tube. So the next light we're going to put in is this one right here, and you'll get to see it pretty close. Now we have to run a wire from this hole to that hole. Now we'll strip these back. This is a different old fixture, old work fixture, and then it has the box already attached to it. So all you got to do is put the wire in. And you want to get the white outer sheathing in and clipped in, like so. Okay, so it has these little tight push pin things, which this is the first time I'm ever using them. They're pretty convenient, but I'm not sure how much I like them over a regular ordinary wire nut. And the instructions specifically said no more than 4 in a row, so we're not gonna go more than 4 in a row. Black to black to black. And white white. Put the cover on. And hold these springs up. Work the box up into the hole. And we're done. Now what we're going to do is I'll have the camera facing the other way this time so you can see this side. So now this is a critical part of this project. Now that we have all those lights in there, they're just too bright. So what we're going to do is put a dimmer on. And those lights were bought with the knowledge that they were dimmable. And we bought the lights and the dimmer at the same time. And this is actually a three-way circuit, so you gotta buy a dimmer that works in a three-way circuit. Three-way circuit means you can switch it from more than one location. I don't know why they call it a three-way circuit. And this looks like a good place to do this because the box is empty. All right. All right, now we got to figure out how to get these wires out. So this is the dimmer switch. These are indicator lights. Once those indicator lights want to be on the left side, so there is an up and a down on this. The wires are marked good, the same. So all I'm going to do is transfer the wires from this switch to this switch. The ground wire is actually a tag here, so I'll have to do a wire tie on that. But here we go. We got a black, a copper, and a green. A black, a copper, and a green. So we'll put the wires on the same connections and we should have it fixed. So black to black, red to copper, There's something we got to read in instructions before I turn the power back on. So we got to go through these steps. And I got to turn it on, the power on, before you do it. I'm going to turn the power on. Okay, with this switch we get a set of directions. And it says you must perform step 9 at the right for the dimmer to work correctly. And that's if you're using a dimmer on one switch and a normal switch on another. So to program the master dimmer for use with an existing switch, the first step is you hold T and R until an indicator light on the left blinks. Okay, so let go. Using the L, select IL1,
Which is the bottom.
bottom one. All right. Single tap to save the settings. You got theater lighting and on, theater lighting.
This is off.
Well, for right now it is, until you turn the other switch.
This is on.
Yeah.
This is lower.
Master level.
Oh, you don't have to click it. You could just hold on to it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then you don't have to click this. You can just. Okay. Wow. Nice. Nice.
Now let me go check the other switch, make sure the other switch works. We have the switch installed, and you can dim it or brighten it. That's master up. That's master down. You can select any level you want. And then you get theater lighting when you turn it off. It just turns off by itself. And you get theater lighting when you turn it on. And the other switch also now works. And it works with the theater lighting. Here we go, off, on.